In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some cases and accessories made by XBASE for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. If you've never heard of XBASE, they have pretty much every accessory that you could need for your brand new phone. We've got cases here made of silicone, we've got protective cases for drops, we've got kickstand cases, we have a waterproof life case, we've got a wireless Qi 2 charger, a lanyard, and a rear camera protector, and all of this is going to be tested in my review. We're going to see how each one of these cases fits and feels on the phone and in the hand. We're going to see how strong the MagSafe magnet is on the back. I'll tell you which one of these is my personal favorite, and by the end of this video, you'll know which one of these accessories are right for you. So let's get into it. The first XBASE case we're going to take a look at is their liquid silicone case, and this has been drop tested up to 12 feet. Let's see how much this case weighs. 47.9 grams. Looks like a really nice case. It does have a fairly firm backing surrounded by all silicone. It's got MagSafe built in, and we also do have like a kind of like a suede material on the inside to help keep your phone free from scratches, and that goes pretty much all the way around inside the case. So we'll put our phone inside here. Fits the phone really well. Feels good in the hand. It's not really grippy. It's got like a smooth silicone type feel. As far as the buttons on the side, very easily pressable. Nice and clicky. If we look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the screen. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to your phone. We've got our buttons on the side here, cutouts on the bottom, power button, and a cutout for the camera button. On the back here, it's got that whole back is made of silicone, and it's got a nice soft touch to it, and it doesn't show any fingerprints, anything like that. And we also do have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. Then to test out the MagSafe on the back, we've got the PowerPeak Qi 2 wireless charger here. You will need your own power source. This only comes with the little puck. Peel off the plastic tab here. It also does use USB Type-C for power. And this charger also has kind of like a soft touch feel on the back here to help keep your phone from getting all scratched up. Clips right onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, it's got a pretty good hold on the back of the case. So you don't have to worry about the phone just falling off. And if you happen to have this sitting on your nightstand, you can just kind of wave your phone over it. It clips right onto the back. And because this is Qi 2, it can charge up to 18 watts. So now let's try out our camera button so you can very easily access your camera. And you can also touch your camera button very easily. The only thing with this case is that you can see is this little piece of silicone here is kind of flimsy. That's the only real downside to this case, is just that little piece there. I would have really liked to have seen like a plastic piece or something underneath the silicone to make it a little bit more rigid, but that's the only real downside for this case. And I've got a few more colors for the liquid silicone. We've got a kind of like a forest green here. Looks kind of cool. We also have a black, because the iPhone does not come in black this year. We've got a blue, which it does come in blue. That should go well with the blue iPhone. And then we also have pink, which is pretty subtle. It's not like a in-your-face neon pink. It's just a very subtle pink. It looks pretty nice too. And then here we have the XBASE Duo Hybrid case. This has been drop tested up to 12 feet. So this case has a really nice look to it. It's got a metal ring around your camera, a nice MagSafe ring in the back with a transparent kind of matte feel as well. We'll see how much this case weighs. 48.7 grams. This also does come in a couple different colors as well. It's got a firm hard back surrounded by a kind of like a softer rubbery type material, along with metal anodized buttons to make it look and feel a little more premium in the hand. Fits the phone really well. Feels good in the hand. Buttons, nice and clicky. easily pressable. They come off the case just enough so you can easily find them with your fingers. If we look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone. It's also pretty slim as well. You can see those anodized metal buttons on the side, cutouts on the bottom, power button, and a cutout for your camera on the side here. And on the back, again, it's got the nice matte transparent back so it doesn't show any fingerprints. We do have the MagSafe ring here, and we have a metal ring around our cameras for protection there too. So again, we'll try out that MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, it seems to have a pretty good strong hold on the back as well. Yeah, pretty nice. So let's test out our camera. So you can access that and touch the button with no issues, because the little cutout is fairly shallow, which I particularly like. So not a bad looking case. Got a nice matte back with a pretty strong magnetic hold on the back, along with metal anodized buttons and a metal camera ring. And then here we have the XBASE Duo Hybrid with a metal kickstand. This has been drop tested up to 12 feet. I really do like the cases that have the kickstand built into the camera ring. Let's see how much this case weighs. 73.3 grams, and that's due to the metal camera ring on the back. Again, it has the same matte transparent backing with the MagSafe, and it's surrounded by like a kind of like a rubbery type material. So put our phone inside the case here. Fits the phone really well, feels good in the hand. It has a slight bit of grip to it. The buttons on the side are very easily pressable, nice and clicky, and they come off the case just enough so you can very easily find them without looking at your phone. If we look at the case from the side, you can see we have more of a raised edge around the top of this case than we do the bottom. And you can also see that the camera ring here does add a little bit of extra bulk to the case, but you are getting that kickstand. Looks pretty nice. Separated buttons on the side, cutouts on the bottom, power button on the side, and the shallow cutout for your camera button. On the back, you have that nice transparency so you can see the color of your phone. Feels really nice. And we've got that really thick camera ring around your lenses, so I don't think anything's gonna ever touch those lenses. And you can very easily open it up from the side here. Just simply opens up like that. Very solid, very substantial kickstand. It doesn't just flop around, so it's got a nice hinge on it. And you can stand your phone up in a kind of like a laying down portrait mode, or you can also put it in a landscape mode, and you have quite a few different levels of adjustment. I mean, it pretty much almost lays down. So no matter where you're sitting at any angle, this will be able to accommodate that, and then it just kind of clips right back into place. So let's test out our MagSafe. Put this down, run your phone over it, it starts to charge immediately, and as far as the hold, seems to have a strong enough hold to hold your phone to the MagSafe. This is a pretty nice case. I really do like the metal kickstand on the back, and as you can see, it covers most of your camera on the side here too, so you don't have to worry about that getting all scratched up, and only has open like what it needs on the side. So let's test out our camera button here. So you can see it's very shallow to touch, so it seems to work pretty well. You don't have to worry about touching your camera button here. It seems to be working well. Pretty nice case. I do like the way that the buttons are. The metal kickstand on the back and the transparent back just makes the case look really nice. And then here we have an XBASE case from their Sparkleline series. This case has been drop tested up to 13 feet. See how much this case weighs. 55.1 grams. Looks really sparkly. It's got a nice firm hard backing surrounded by a firmer rubbery type material. Put our phone in the case here. Fits the phone really well. Feels good in the hand. It's got some nice grip to it. Buttons on the side. Nice and clicky. Easily pressable. If we look at the side of the case, you can see that it's got a pretty even raised edge all the way around the phone. It also keeps the phone fairly slim. We've got our cutouts on the bottom, power button, and a cutout button for the camera button. And on the back shows up the really sparkliness, is that a word, of this case. We got the MagSafe built in here, and it also has a slight raised edge to protect our camera lenses. So now let's test out our MagSafe. Clips right onto the phone, pretty strong. Charges your phone immediately, and you don't have to worry about your phone just kind of falling off your MagSafe accessory. Seems to be on there pretty good. When you heard it clip, it's on there pretty decently. So it's got a nice strong magnetic hold. Let's test out our camera button. And because the cutout is pretty shallow, it seems to work pretty good with the camera button as well. Yeah, no problems there. And this also does come in a couple other different colors, which I've got here. This one's kind of like starry, and this one's more like a rainbow. I think that looks pretty cool. Put our phone inside one of these other cases. And if you really want your phone to stand out, these cases are definitely going to do that. Looks real sparkly. And then for the rainbow, oh, this one's got a lot of grip. The rainbow one is super grippy, and it's also a lot thicker around the edges too, so this would probably be better for some better drop protection. Kind of see the rainbow a little bit. It kind of shimmers. That's pretty cool. You can see it kind of all the way around the case and not just on the back. That's interesting. And then here we have their ProTech series case. This has been drop tested up to 15 feet. Got this one in a nice blue color. See how much this case weighs. 56.2 grams. This case does have a firm hard backing with MagSafe built in, and it's also a two-piece design. It's got a plastic shell on the back and then a more flexible type of rubbery insert on the inside, and that'll help give you better drop protection. So we'll put our phone inside the case here. Fits the phone really well, feels good in the hand. It does have some texturing on the side to help give it a little grip. The buttons also nice and clicky, very easily pressable. If we look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the phone, and it also keeps your phone pretty slim. We've got some reinforcements in the corners to help with drops. You can see that texturing on the side, cutouts on the bottom. We've got our power button and our cutout for our camera button on the back. It's got like a subtle kind of slight texturing, keeps down fingerprints, and we also do have a pretty good raised edge around our camera lenses. Let's test out the MagSafe. Clips right onto the back, charges your phone immediately, and as far as the hold, it's got a pretty good hold on the back too. You don't have to worry about your phone just falling off your MagSafe accessory. Definitely a plus. Let's test out our camera button. And this is also a pretty shallow cutout, so it's very easy to touch your camera button. And that seems to be working pretty good as well. Very nice. I think the ProTech series case is one of my more favorite XBASE cases because it's not too bulky, but it gives you some pretty good protection, and the MagSafe ring in the back is pretty strong too. You can also see that it covers more of the camera as well here and leaves less exposed. I do like the more of a raised edge as well. And I also have this ProTech series case in a black too. See how that looks on the phone. Black and orange, I think that's a winner. I like the orange and black better than orange and blue. And then here we have the XBASE Crystal Pro case. This has been drop tested up to 14 feet. Looks like a pretty nice clear case. See how much this weighs. 47.43 grams. This case has a hard plastic backing surrounded by a firm rubbery type material. There's also some stickers on the inside and on the outside you want to remove before you put your phone in. Nice and crystal clear. XBASE also has this really cool crossbody strap that you can very easily put into pretty much any phone. They've got different colors in case you don't particularly like the one that I have here. It comes with this little piece here that you just simply slide through the bottom of your case and it sits in there just like that. So this goes in before you put your phone in. Then you can put your phone inside the case and it'll lock that in place. So the case feels really good in the hand. It's got some really nice grip to it. As far as the buttons are nice and clicky, very easily pressable. If we look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone, and it also keeps your phone pretty slim. We've got our cutouts on the bottom, power button on the other side, along with the cutout for our camera button, and on the back, nice and clear, show off the color of your phone. And we also do have a slight raised edge for our camera protection. So again, here is that strap. It comes with a couple different pieces. One you can kind of put across your body, and the other is more like a strap, like a little, I think a little wristlet that you can put around your wrist instead of your whole body. So this is more the body strap. So you can see it's pretty long. This will go across pretty much anybody's body. It's made of a really nice, like braided material. It's got these metal pieces on the side that you can easily adjust the size to. Kind of pull this through just like that, make it longer or shorter. It's got the nice little lobster claw on the bottom you can easily put through the bottom here. And then this is around your around your body, so you don't have to worry about your phone ever dropping. It's always held on to this really nice braided rope. And then the little wristlet here is even smaller. So if you want to just put this around your wrist instead of your whole body, they give you both, which is pretty nice. So you can adjust this, make it a little bigger in case you have bigger hands like I do, just like that. So now your phone is always on your wrist and you never have to worry about dropping it. That is pretty nice. And if you're wondering if you have to take this out to charge your phone, you don't, because it easily moves out of the way. So you can just kind of pull this little piece down here and then plug in your charger. So you never have to worry about taking out that little piece. Now let's test out our camera button here. Again, it's pretty shallow, so you can very easily access your camera button, and it seems to be working without any issues. Yep. Pretty nice clear case. I love the way that it feels in the hand. It's nice and grippy. And I like the way that it shows off the color of your phone. Also, as far as fingerprints, does seem to do a pretty good job of keeping down fingerprints as well. I don't see any on the back, and you've seen how I've been handling this case. So that's definitely a plus as well. And then here we have the XBASE Crystal Slim case. This is another clear case. Has a hard backing surrounded by a firm rubbery type material. Let's see how much this case weighs. 43.9 grams. This also has stickers on the back that you want to remove before you put your phone in. Put your phone in the case. Fits the case really good. Has some really nice grip to it. Buttons on the side. Nice and clicky, easily pressable. They don't protrude off the case very much, but you can still kind of feel it if you run your finger over. It's just not as pronounced as some of the other cases. You can also see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of the phone. We can see the texturing on the side to help with grip, and it also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. We've got our cutouts on the bottom, power button on the side with the cutout for our camera button. And you can see the color of your phone on the back really nicely too. We do have a slight raised edge for our camera protection. We'll try out our MagSafe here. Clips right onto the back, charges your phone immediately, And it's got a pretty good hold on the back as well. You don't have to worry about the MagSafe accessory just kind of falling off. So another nice clear case. Again, it is really grippy. So if you like not having to worry about your phone falling out of your hand, this case is pretty nice. And it also doesn't show fingerprints on the back. And then here we have the XBASE Crystal Skin. This has been drop tested up to 10 feet. See how much this case weighs. 33.9 grams. It's a little lighter than the other ones. It does have a kind of a firm, flexible back, surrounded by a firm rubbery type of material. Feels good in the hand. This case also does have grip, just like the other ones. Buttons are a little bit harder to press on the side versus the other cases, but they still do work. It's just you have to press them in a little bit harder to get them to move. If we look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front. It also keeps your phone pretty slim. We got some extra airbags in the corners for drop protection. Cutouts on the bottom. Power button and cutout for the camera button on the other side. And on the back, again, shows off the color of your phone. Doesn't seem to collect fingerprints really well, so that's a plus. And we've got a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. So let's test out the MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately, and it's got an okay hold. I think it's a little bit less strong than some of the other cases, but I think it's adequate enough to hold your phone on the MagSafe accessory to where you don't have to worry about it just falling off. So another simple, clear case. And then as far as the camera button, again, it is pretty shallow, so you don't have to worry about not being able to touch or swipe on the camera button. Seems to work pretty good. And here we have the XBASE Boulder case. This is one of their more protective cases, better for drop protection. It's been drop tested up to 18 feet. So let's see how much this case weighs. 74.9. This case is a two-piece design. It's got a nice little kind of like a foam pad on the inside to help with drop protection. And like I mentioned, it's a two-piece design. It's got a soft rubbery outer portion surrounded by a firmer rubber, a harder plastic. So it kind of cocoons your phone inside the case. You just pull out this inner portion here, put this over the top of your phone like that. And then you're going to take this whole thing and put it back in the inside. And like I said, it kind of cocoons your phone inside the case, so you don't have to worry about the phone just popping out, even if you happen to drop or throw your phone in a fit of rage. And there we go. So it does feel great in the hand. It's nice and grippy. It's got like a rubbery type feel to it. The buttons on the side are nice and clicky, easily pressable, but the only thing is they don't come off the case very much. So it might be a little bit more difficult to find if you're not looking at the phone. But we do have a big cutout for our camera button on the side here. You can also see that it adds a little bit of extra bulk to the phone, and we've got a slight raised edge around the front of the phone as well. Got that texturing on the side. Here you can see those buttons a little better. Cutouts on the bottom, along with a covered charging port, which is nice. It'll keep it nice and dust-free. And on the other side, our power button, cut out for the camera button. We got a MagSafe ring on the back, and we also do have a slight raised edge around our cameras for protection there too. So let's test out our MagSafe. Clips right onto the back, charges your phone immediately, and as far as the hold, it's got an okay hold on the back. It's strong enough to hold your phone so you don't have to worry about the phone just falling off. It's not the strongest hold, but I think it's adequate enough. So that is a pretty nice protective case so far. Let's test out our camera button. Now, the only thing with this is you can see how deep this cutout is and how much you have to kind of put your finger over to get access to the camera button. But once you do, because it is so shallow, there's no issues touching the camera button here. It seems to work really well. It's just getting it across the little bump here is a little bit more difficult. So you see I got to put my hand over. You can't just touch it normally. You kind of got to get it around. That's the only thing about this case. But this is their most protective case, and I think it's my favorite protective case by XBASE as well. I also have a couple other colors as well here. I've got a green, a black, and a black that actually comes with a belt clip in case that's what you're looking for. They also have that. So here is that belt clip. You can see that the phone just kind of clips in. It also does have kind of like a felt material on the inside here to help keep your phone scratch free. And the back here also rotates 360 degrees. And if you're wondering, this belt clip only works one way. You have to put your phone with the screen face in, because if you try it the other way, the camera bump gets in the way and it won't close properly on the belt clip. But you can see that it works pretty much with all the ProTech cases. And here was the black. And again, we also do have the green. This is kind of like a forest green, mint green, whatever you want to call it. And then here we have the XBASE Clip Pro case. This case not only comes with a belt clip, but it also comes with a kickstand on the back here, which unfolds like that and folds right back into the case. We'll see how much this case weighs. Should be pretty slim. 36.8 grams, and with the case, 93. So again, this case has a kickstand on the back, and it's got like a cool little textured pattern as well. This is an all plastic case. There's no rubber or anything on this case either. It's got an open top and a bottom. We'll put our phone inside the case here. This kind of clips in place. Feels pretty good in the hand. Again, it's just like a smooth type of plastic. And there's large cutouts on the sides for your buttons. All of your buttons just kind of squared off. It's a little bit difficult to press in the buttons because you're pressing into this little slot here. I mean, it can be done. I would just kind of like to see maybe them add some buttons to this case, but it is what it is. It's made for what it is. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that we got a pretty good raised edge on each side of the case, nothing on the top or the bottom. We've got our cutout on the side here, large cutout on the bottom, cutouts in the side and on the top. Now, you don't have to worry about your phone sliding out. It may look like it, but it's in there because it's held in place with the camera cutout as well as these little curves on the top and the bottom of the case. So you don't have to worry about your phone just sliding out. But if you want to put this inside your belt clip, you can slide this into the belt clip like this, and you're all set. And then you just kind of slide it out if you want to take it out of the case. Again, on the back, we've got that texturing along with the kickstand. That is a little bit difficult to get out, but once you do, you can use your phone in a portrait or landscape mode, and then it just kind of folds right back into place like that. To tell you the truth, I'm not a huge fan of this case. I don't like the way that the cutouts are on the side. You have to kind of press over or in underneath this little bar here, which makes it a little bit more difficult. I would really like to see a full case instead of these cutouts on the top and the bottom, and it just kind of looks off just having these large sides like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you agree, or do you like the way that the case looks? Let me know in the comments below. I just want to know if I'm alone on this. We also do have a pretty decent raised edge for camera protection too. So this doesn't have any MagSafe, so you're not going to be able to clip anything on the back. You can still wirelessly charge through this case. It just doesn't have MagSafe built in. Then before we put our phone in the waterproof case, let's test out the camera lens protector. So this is a full coverage camera protector, so it's going to cover the whole back of your phone. And you want to make sure that you thoroughly clean off the back camera, because you don't want anything keeping the protector from sticking to the back of the camera. So we'll clean it off with our alcohol wipe, clean off all your lenses too, and then we'll dry it off. Then take your camera protector just like this. You want to line it up with your camera lenses and your flash, peel off the backing, and then stick this down over your lenses. And then press it down into place. And there we go. So it covers your whole back camera portion here. The only thing that I can see that's a little off is the cutouts for the flash, and I'm not sure if that's a laser right there. They're just slightly cut improperly, but they do cover all three of the lenses here. So you don't have to worry about this getting all scratched up in your case. And we'll put this in a case just to show you that it does fit perfectly. So you can see that any case pretty much that's going to have this large cutout here, you should be able to use this camera protector. So now everything is protected on the back of the phone. And let's see what the camera looks like. So here is our rear camera. Looks pretty clean. You can see the hairs on my hand, nice and clear. Color looks pretty good too, so I don't see any issues there. Let's take a flash picture. And here's what the picture looks like. I think that looks pretty sharp. Nice and clear. I don't see any blooming. I think it looks pretty good. And if we take a look from the side, you can see that it doesn't add much extra bulk to the back of the phone either. Just kind of comes right up to the top of your camera lenses. So now let's test out the scratch resistance. Typically, regular tempered glass starts to scratch at a Mohs hardness number 6, so we're going to start off with the number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6, and then finally a number 7. And if we take a closer look, you can see that there are no scratches at the number 5. There are slight at a number 6 and the same at about a number 7. So scratch resistance for this is pretty standard for tempered glass. And then finally we come to the XBASE waterproof case. Now this case is waterproof. It's also snowproof, drop proof, and dust proof. And I'm going to be doing a water test to see if any water will get into this case for about 30 minutes or so. So here is the case. Let's see how much it weighs. 77.2 grams. We also do have the lanyard on the inside as well. It's got a film screen protector too to protect your screen, and the camera lenses are all protected on the back. It's got MagSafe built in, and we also do have a touch capacitive camera button on the side. So the way that you get this apart is on the bottom. It's got these little kind of holes that you can kind of get your finger in, and then you just kind of pull these apart. Comes with a little lanyard here. Try to make sure that you don't touch anything on the inside, because then you're going to have to clean it, because there's probably going to be fingerprints all over the place. We also have a little stopper here that allows you to use the microphone or make your case totally waterproofed when you're not using the mic. And the charging port and speaker holes are also waterproofed as well. Right there. You see this little piece covers them both. And on the inside, the speakers do have a plastic over them so no water gets in. I'm also going to be testing out what your voice sounds like and what sound sounds like coming from your phone when it's in the waterproof case too. So first we need to make sure that we thoroughly clean off our screen, preferably with an alcohol wipe if you have one, and then dry it off, or just use this wipe without the alcohol wipe. Then once that's done, take the top part of your case, again making sure to not touch the inside of that case. Just press this over the top of your phone, just like that, and then press your phone into place, making sure that the camera lenses are also wiped off because you don't want anything on them either. Then take the back part of your case, and we're going to put this over the top and just kind of go around the edges and press the two pieces of the case together. They all click into place. And you want to make sure that they are together because you don't want any water seeping in. And there we go. First impressions of the case, feels really nice in the hand. You can peel off your protectors on the front and the back here as well. So the case looks really nice. It is definitely going to keep your phone cocooned inside. The buttons on the side are nice and grippy, very easily pressable, and they protrude off the case enough to where you can very easily find them without actually looking at the case. If we look at the case from the side, you can see it does add some extra bulk, but not a ton, just enough to keep your phone protected. And we also do have a pretty good raised edge around the front of the phone as well. We got some lanyard holes on the bottom. Again, we have the covered charging port and speakers, and this little piece here. Again, if you want to talk to somebody, you can flip it over to that side and it kind of opens up this hole so you can talk a little better. And then you push it over to the other side to totally waterproof the case. On the other side, we've got our power button and our touch capacitive camera button. On the back, it's nice and clear to show off the color of your phone. We've got that MagSafe ring, and your cameras are totally covered. You can see it's got that nice raised edge, and all your lenses and everything are totally covered. So let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately, and it's got an okay hold on the back. Not the strongest, but it should hold your MagSafe accessory in place on the phone. So let's test out the sound really quick and the touch. So you can see it does have a film screen protector on the front. Touch working fine, no issues with the camera. Let's take a look at that first. Camera looks nice and clear. Don't see any issues there. So you can use your Face ID and your selfie camera without issue. Touch working fine. You can see the case is crystal clear as well, or rather the screen. And since this is a life-proof case, the majority of the time I'm sure you're going to be wearing some sunglasses. So let's see what it looks like as if you're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And you can see that it looks pretty good. There's only a slight rainbow effect. You can see it there, but not bad at all. Depending on how you twist and turn it, the rainbow can get worse, but if you're looking at it pretty much dead on, it's only going to be very slight. So let's test out our sound now. See what it sounds like when it's totally waterproofed.
Seamlessly trade stocks, options, crypto, and futures in one place on Robinhood.
So that's up all the way.
I remember after that first pump episode, I remember coming back, we're in Miami, I went back home, I woke my wife up and I said,
it is kind of
we
muffled.
gotta take all of our money.
So the sound is definitely muffled when it's totally waterproofed. So let's open up this little piece here as if we were going to use it to talk to somebody, and we'll see what the sound sounds like. Way louder.
In my life, I said that. You know what? We should have. It's so rich. It would have been rough, but then I would have multiple times of saying "I told you so." She would also have "I told you so." Yeah. Bitcoin really is the best thing for a relationship.
So you can see that this little plug makes a huge difference when you're trying to listen to things. When it's totally waterproofed, it muffles the sound significantly, but just opening this up makes it sound so much louder. So now let's test out our voice recording as if you were talking to somebody on the phone. So this is open, so it should be able to hear my voice pretty good. Testing, 1, 2, 3, just testing how this is going to sound. Testing, 1, 2, 3, just testing how this is going to sound. Sounds pretty loud and clear. I don't think anybody's going to have any issues hearing you, but let's plug it up and make it totally waterproofed and see if that makes a difference. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is with the life-proof case or the waterproof case totally waterproofed. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is with the life-proof case or the waterproof case, totally waterproofed. So you can see you can still hear your voice, but it's a lot more muffled. So I mean, you should be able to use it either way, but if you want to talk to somebody, you should really probably open up this little plug here. Now let's test out the camera button on the side so you can easily access your camera. We'll see how the touch works. Touch seems to be working pretty good. It's got all those little touch capacitive copper pins on there. So yeah, that seems to work out pretty good as well. And as far as fingerprints on the screen, it does also seem to do a pretty decent job at keeping down the fingerprints. We just have some slight smudges on the screen, and you can wipe those away with minimal effort. So everything's looking great for this case so far. Now let's move on to the waterproof test. All right, so we're going to submerge this phone in this vase of water for about 30 minutes. We'll come back after 30 minutes, take it out, and we'll take apart the case to see if any water has gotten into the case itself. You can see that it is 224, and I'm going to start a timer just in case as well. So we'll start a stopwatch. And we'll start it in just a second so you can see everything is waterproofed. I've plugged everything up, and we'll start it now. All right, so it's been 30 minutes. Let's pull this out, take a look. So you can see it's 2:57 now, and there's the timer, 33 minutes, 20 seconds. So we need to thoroughly dry this off because I don't want it to look like any water got in when it really didn't. So dry this off really good. Make sure we get all the water out of the little crevices. Back here. It does wipe up pretty easily. The water just kind of comes right off. I mean, I didn't really wipe that much off, and it looks, pretty clean. We have a little bit of water underneath the camera ridge here. All right, and I think that should be good. If there's going to be any water, it's going to be down in these little crevices here. But from what I can tell, I don't see any water on the inside. It's all on the outside. It looks like I'm not really... Yeah, it's all on the outside. No water on the inside here. Let's take a closer look. So it doesn't look like the water got in anywhere there. And on the screen, it's totally clean. So now let's take the case apart. We'll take a closer look. And the phone looks dry to me. Let's push it out. And we'll take a closer look at the phone here. See if there's any water. Don't see any water on the screen. Looks pretty clean. No water on the edge. Looks pretty good. Nice and dry. Beautiful. So I'm pretty pleased with the results of the waterproof case. Now, it's not definitive. I can't go into the ocean or, into a pool and test out the case. So I did what I could, and it seemed like it did keep the water outside of the case. So if you need a case that's going to protect your phone from drops, scratches, water, snow, dust, and dirt, I would definitely recommend the XBASE waterproof case. Everything on the case seems to work well. The camera button works perfectly fine. MagSafe on the back works good. It doesn't make your phone super bulky, and you can even still use your phone while it's in its waterproof mode. Now, as far as my favorite cases that I would probably use on a day-to-day basis, I would either choose the Dual Hybrid Kickstand or the ProTech case. They're both really nice cases. The ProTech is better for drops, but the Dual Hybrid is better for everyday use because you're going to be, eating lunch out or things like that. You can definitely always use the kickstand, and it is a little less bulky as well. But if you're more concerned about drops and you want the best protection possible, I would definitely go with the Boulder case. But XBASE has a case here for somebody, and I'm also pretty impressed with their waterproof case as well. So now that you know what my favorite cases were, I'd like to know what yours are and why. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you guys want to pick up any of these cases and accessories, I will be putting product links in the video description, and make sure you use those links during checkout because it will save you quite a bit of money. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please let me know by hitting the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.